Okay, let us continue the next concepts of this module and chapter, memory hierarchy technology. Okay, so this chapter or the concepts of this main heading we have already studied in our CO subject and in our embedded system subject, even operating system also. Okay, so it is kind of a revision and mathematical representation of the concepts what we have studied. Okay, so we all know we used to write a triangle whenever we want to explain a memory technology. Okay, triangle in the sense broader in the bottom, as we go for the top we will get a point in the sense size increasing, sorry, size decreasing. In the bottom, backup storage like hard disk, magnetic tape, which are bulk in size. From there, DRAMs, cache, CPU registers smallest. Okay, so but even though the base of the triangle consisting of maximum space or capacity to, here we are mentioning capacity, so which indicates we can store more quantity of data. So here this capacity is broad. If we take this vertical derivation, we will get a smaller capacity of storage in terms of resistors. See, you know already this diagram, resistors are in terms of bits or bytes, whereas the bulk storage will be in terms of terabytes, gigabytes. Nowadays, new level, here level 4, we can include level 5 as cloud. Okay, which has according to our assumption infinite memory space where we can store lot of data. Okay, so for us it looks infinite, but from the view of developer, from the perspective of developer, it will be limited. It is not like unlimited, but anyway we can say it is the cloud is the highest space where we can store data. So here what you mean by hierarchy? Hierarchy is one after the another level, from smallest capacity to cache to RAMs to hard disk, from there to magnetic tape, nowadays cloud, which I mentioned. Okay, so the total diagram meaning is, from this area, the top resistors, as we progress towards a cloud, size increases, but access time decreases. Because to get something from a cloud, we will take little time, like in terms of seconds or 2 seconds, 3 seconds, but when we want to fetch data from resistor, it will be in terms of nanoseconds. So we can expect this. Okay, so now you can observe one important thing, which is a upward arrow mark, increase in cost of development. Here cloud setup is easier than the manufacture of resistor, but of course resistor has a small capacity, cloud capacity is more. We can consider it as costlier, but the costly is for bulk in size. If we reduce the cloud cost to the same capacity of resistor, it becomes very less. Okay, cloud setup cost will be lesser, because there will be only disk type of hardware, but whereas in resistors it will be the processor, RAM development cost, so many things will become very costlier. Okay, so that's what increase in the cost. Okay, so now let us take a few points. Here resistors, you know already, fastest and smallest. Fastest for accessing, smallest for storing. Okay, so few I have named which we are familiar with: AX, BX, CX, DX, which we used in our 8086, SP, BP, SI, DI, all this. R0 to R12 we have used in our ARM processor or ARM controller. So cache memory, it is slightly higher than resistor but lesser the capacity than memory. So whenever we get a concept called as cache or catch, what we pronounce, we should get into the mind that it is more in capacity than resistors, lesser than RAM, And it is very important concept is cache is just like a temporary small storage of data. We need to store a data which is not possible to store in register. Okay. Then comes main memory. Main memory means RAM. Okay, we know the some of the technologies DDR1, DDR2. RAM is little more capacity than cache, which is more than registers. Next comes disk drives, hard disk, floppy disk, magnetic tapes. So this all concept we have studied in our CO embedded system. Okay, so next so probably this after this question you will get a short note type of question. So explain memory, inclusion, coherence and locality. So these all are a kind of theorems. Okay, inclusion theorem, coherence theorem and locality. So here comes inclusion property. It's a very important statement. All information is definitely stored in outermost memory device. Okay, so coming back to this diagram, if you extend this to circular shape, what happens is registers will be in core, outer circle RAM, again outer circle RAM, innermost circle register, second level circle cache, third level circle RAM, fourth level circle disk storage, next level is magnetic tape, and outermost is cloud. So now the definition of inclusion property is all information is definitely stored in outermost memory device. That means which is the outermost circle here is cloud. If data is not present in register, it will try to fetch from cache. If data is not present in the cache, then it will try to search in the main memory called RAMs. If there also data is not present, it will try to search in disk. If not present, magnetic tape. If all these levels of memory doesn't consisting of data, definitely data should be present somewhere in the cloud. So that is what assumption. If data is nowhere present, then we can say data is not present. That time we should say excluded. Data is excluded. So inclusion means it is present, exclusion means it is absent. So how the Google search or any search engine works, it's try to search in the local server, nearby servers. Finally it will try to get data from somewhere in this world which are connected through the internet. So in the same meaning, if we got some result of a search successfully, definitely data is present anywhere. But what inclusion is, at finally data should at least present in the outermost memory device. If it is not even there also present, then data is excluded. Data is excluded. Okay, see the same inclusion property trying to explain in terms of vertical axis. So see the small boxes which indicates size of or the capacity of that level which can store the data. See, this is the smallest box which indicates the smallest capacity. As we progress to the next level, little higher in the dimension, which indicates more size. Again main memory, which means RAM, more capacity. Disk, again more capacity. Finally we got with optical or magnetic tapes. Okay, if data is present in the register, it is processed. If not, it is tried to search in the cache. If found, return back. If not found, the request is forwarded. If found, it is reversed. Hence it is bidirectional arrow mark. Please make a remember. Okay, now this diagram you have studied in your operating system using segmentation, TLB, all those methods. Okay, so data is requested. If data is not present in the cache, the request is forwarded in the name of page search. So this is called a block search, this is called page search. If because RAM stores data in terms of pages, you remember some page replacement algorithms, LRU, FIFO, all those. Okay, so those all work based on page level. Okay, so if particular block is searched, also page is searched. Okay, so but if we got a page correct, then it is returned back to cache. If we got a block successful search, we will get a block details. Okay, coming for the next, if the data is not present in block level as well as in page level, then it is found in segment level. Okay, where we will get a segment address also. So here address is increasing from block to page, page to segment. So if data is present in this segment, a copy of particular page is returned back, and also the segments blockwise segments, among which segment consisting of data its block number is returned. So here we will get in the RAM updated which page number we got a data, in that page number which block of a segment has a data, so that will be updated. So it should update back into the cache. Okay, once cache receives final information, here instead of information we are getting actually address. Okay, because what happens, we cannot load all the complete segment data in cache, only selected areas address will be transmitted. Once we get an address here, CPU will start accessing it. Okay, if we are unable to find a part data in the selected segment, then higher level magnetic tape unit, which is called as backup storage, there multiple drives or sectors. Okay, sectors will be searched. If we found in some sector, it is keeps on returning. That's why in every stage we have bidirectional arrow mark. Okay, this is called inclusion property. Okay, fine. Okay, next, coherence property. You can expect 3 questions: inclusion property, coherence property, and locality. So we finished inclusion. Let's take coherence. A copy of information must be stored in successive level of memory. But see here, the meaning of this is we have to keep a copy. If one information copy we kept in a magnetic tape of some size, we cannot store same size in we may possible to store the same size data in disk as well as in main, but definitely it is not possible to store or keep a copy of complete data in cache as well as registers, because these are very limited. That time what we have to do is we have to keep pointers or location addresses. So next, what you mean by coherence here is, if data is modified in a cache, it must be updated in higher level memory devices also. We cannot modify data in the disk directly or in here. So say for example, you have stored one document, in that your expense, a month expense you have prepared. Okay, so unknowingly you forgot one row, and after few days you got to remember and you want to enter that row. So what happens that time, the page in which you have created, that should enter RAM and cache, there only edit operation will takes place. Once you edit, it should be updated in RAM, disk, and appropriate memory area. That is called as coherence property. Okay, so coherence in the sense, write through is one mechanism. If a data is modified in any level of memory, it should replicate in next higher levels. See here, if data is modified in main memory, it should replicate that difference, that updation should be made in higher levels, M3, M4, M5. If you modify data in cache level, it should reflect in RAM, hard disk, and segments. Like that we have to, that is a mechanism called write through. Okay, so write through mechanism means if data is modified in any level of memory, it must replicates in higher levels also. Okay, next one is locality of reference. Locality means where we can find the data what we wanted to search for. Okay, if you want to search for some data table or data set, where we are able to find, whether we can find it in only cache, only RAM, or not present in the RAM but it is present in the disk. Next case, not present in memory, I mean RAM as well as disk, but it is present in optical disk. Third case, not present in RAM, not present in disk, not present in optical disk, but it is present in the cloud. Like that also we can think. Okay, so temporal reference. Temporal reference. See, we can think this as cookies of some internet pages. So what happens is, today in the Google we might have searched some news, cricket related news. After 1 hour we will close, and if we restart the Google search engine, if I hit alphabet C, it predicts that again I wanted to check cricket related topics. So if I hit, as soon as I hit a C, it will try to predict CRICKET, like that. So because I have recently referred that data set called cricket score, so as soon as I restart one search engine or any work, it predicts I want to continue the work which I have just a little before I have finished. That is called as temporal reference. Okay, next one, spatial reference. A data set whose address are nearby to the present set. See, I want to search for something like this: Advanced Computer Architecture IEEE papers 2020. So 2020, if there are only 3 papers published, Google will not stops result showing only 3 papers are there. It will show on the top 2020 papers, next 2019 IEEE papers on advanced computer architecture, next 2018 papers, 2017 papers, or most popular paper, like that. So how the Google will predict is based on spatial reference. For which keyword I have given search, okay, that search nearby data also shown. As I mentioned, see, if you want, you can do like this on Google. If I hit a button called hit search called Virat Kohli, so along with Virat Kohli I will get some of the names of cricketers, so related to, I mean, like Dhoni or okay, some players, Rohit Sharma. So how the engine is working now is, are they related with each other? Yes, because they all are connected in the name called cricket or Indian team. Like that I will get some reference. So that reference is special. Okay, next, sequential. Sequential means continuous data is shown. Continuous data in the sense you give weather report in the Google. So what it will do is, it will give present, today, next 10 days. So if you click on next 10 days, what happens? Continuously what is going to happen for next 10 days, it will show. That is called as sequential reference. Okay, please check all 3. Temporal means recently you have used, what you have used you will get in your history. Spatial means something you have searched, it won't restrict there only, it will try to give related to that keyword what you have searched for. Sequential means continuously what all the data is present in the data set, all data are exhibited or shown. Okay, so next, this you have already studied in your CO, memory capacity planning. This means how much is a memory that will be used or which is going to be searched or accessed. Okay, two definitions and one formula. Hit ratio. So you want to search for data and data is present. Data is present. Don't worry about how much accurate data is present, but somewhere data is present. Say for example like this. So today is October 20th. Okay, October 20th 2019 a cricket match. If you search like this, if cricket match took place, which is updated in the Google, it will give the data. If no cricket match was there, okay, so then it will give no matches. That is called as miss ratio. Hit ratio means what? There might be any one match, which match information they have uploaded to Google. Say for example, in the lockdown time, I think complete word never in the through complete word there was no game which has uploaded information in the Google. So if we give that date, we will get a zero information. That is called miss ratio. Hit ratio means we will give some date, on that date something happened and that data is updated or shown for us. That is called as hit ratio. Hit ratio means successful search. Miss ratio means unsuccessful search. Unsuccessful is not because we fail to search, it is because data is not present. That is important thing. Okay, so how to calculate effective time of accessing memory? The time effective is equal to frequency into time. Frequency into time, and it is also H1 into T1. Okay, hit ratio into time to access. Why we should do 1 minus hit ratio? That is called miss ratio of second data fetch. Miss ratio of second data, hit percentage, and time to fetch that area, like that. This you have studied in your CO subject. Okay, so please recall the concepts from that. Okay, next, virtual memory technology. So here is virtual memory technology. So this means virtual memory means which is not connected to our computer physically, but we can store data, we can access data, update, delete data from that memory. So as soon as we say a word virtual memory, we can imagine it as a cloud. Okay, actually it is not a physical memory in our system. Okay, not a physical memory, but definitely it will be outside of our system. Okay, outside of our system. One thing for sure is it is bulk in size and it supplies the data little late compared to the memory access time inside our system, means computer. So examples are some cloud, some servers. Okay, so next, address space. Address space. Okay, hope you all remember address modes of 8086. Register to register, base relative, program counter relative, all those are addressing modes. Can we expect same type of addressing modes for virtual memory? Yes, but it is not simple like register to register. It will be in terms of segments, more than segments. See here, why I am taking a word segment is, segment, we come to the scenario of segment when it is disk. When it is sector, we will be beyond the segments, sectors. Okay, sectors means you have studied in your C programming. Hard disk is divided into sectors, rows, and call bits information. Okay, that's what. Okay, here to access the virtual memory, definitely we will have virtual memory addressing modes. Virtual memory addressing modes. So what happens if we use virtual memories address space? It will be delayed in fetching the information. Why? Because they are not physically connected with the processor, So we need little time to find the area where data is present, fetch the data, get the data, and identify, decode the data. So here definitely time will be more, hence delayed in the access. Okay, so there is one definition. What do you mean by virtual memory address mapping? Okay, for this I will use this definition, this inclusion definition. All information is definitely stored in outermost memory device. Okay, if not present in innermost or inner level of memory, it is definitely present in outermost memory. So if a data is present in memory which is not physical, that means it is a virtual. So if a part of memory is if a part of memory from virtual memory is accessed, its address set V definitely mapping to M. Mapping in the sense what? Successful search. Say for example, I have typed what happened on 1947 October 20th. Okay, it is not present in my computer, it is present in some cloud. Okay, so I have given a condition, October 20th 1947, that is a condition. So for that we will access a memory which is virtual. So all the areas of that M means that cloud, will give some information, like it was a heavy rain, or it might be some drought, these many people affected, like that. There will be some table of information. Whatever the table of information's address is called as V. Okay, set of addresses or group of addresses V. It maps to some M, some memory. Address mapping means if successful search takes place, definitely related information is present in the M, means memory. Okay, see, simple idea. This you have studied in your operating system. Okay, so virtual space of processor 1, virtual space of processor 2. Two processors virtual space are kept aside. Here we have one common processor, that is main RAM of our computer. One Google server you can expect, one as Cricinfo server. What happens? You will try to give some request. Okay, request to search. Related information will be given for your computer. Similarly, another server will also give you this ready to service or provide the service. So finally, what you will get as a client, you have connected with the two servers who are ready to provide services for you. Okay, next one is globally shared virtual memory space. Globally shared means what? It is here it is dedicated, private in the sense first processor's virtual space and second processor's virtual space is exclusively supplied for this, but here it is global. Now you can expect global means what? Anybody can access. So shared space, here it is, this area belongs to processor 1, this area let's assume belongs to processor 2, and we want to access the data for different processes of our computer. So first processor, second processor, third processor, like that, easily they will ready to access because it is a globally shared, it is not a private or exclusive. Okay, so these are all concepts. Please go through with your operating system subject, you will get to know. Anyway, I will try to give a few of the definitions. Okay, so first one is translation look aside buffer. Translation look aside buffer, which consisting of information in terms of pages. Okay, see here, TLB and page table, TLB and page table. Here it is virtual address translation scheme, how the address will be translated from virtual to physical. So virtual address is accessed, it is mapped to some of the hashing algorithms. From there one pointer is generated and it is converted into directed map how successfully to reach that virtual address. Say you have searched for some information related to a city of other country. So generally what happens, the information of city of other country is stored in that country's server. So you are accessing from other third country. So what happens that time is we are accessing virtually as that city. So that time it has to direct whether it is a successful search or unauthenticated search, like that. So if it is authenticated search, it should keep supplying the valuable information. You can do like this: search for some city in the other country like Dubai or something, Sharjah as a city. Okay, some city name. You can even access map also, so you will get a valid informations. Okay, so this all concept related to this next TLB, translation look aside buffer. Okay, so here data will be stored in terms of with each page address, each page consisting of multiple blocks, each block consisting of word. Okay, now what happens, we will give some search as a reference for data. If data is present in the cache, if data is present in the cache, we will get easy access, or even in RAM also. But once we are sure that cache and RAM are not present for what we are searching, definitely it leads to page level. So if it is a page level, that concept is called as translation look aside buffer. So one buffer keeps the count whether data is hit type or miss type. See, TLB buffer, if it searches in all the page tables, if data is not present in all the page tables, what happens? So that is called as miss. The activity is miss, means the data for what you are searching is miss. That means page fault. Why it is page fault? The data, all the pages what we have does not consisting of what the data we need. That time what is the work what we have to do is we have to replace a page. Okay, so say for example we have a queue of 3. So we have out of 3 pages we have not got a valid information. That time we have to remove any page and get the page where there is a data. So if these pages does not consisting of data, definitely we have to find a successful page which has the data what we wanted. So that time what it will do, it will find out a page and that page is completely replaced here. So if page is replaced using particular algorithm, so it will update a block name and also it will update a word. Okay, so that what happens in the next, it is updated in the TLB look aside buffer, which page you have substituted in the queue. So next what happens, again it will try to search. If data is successfully found, now data is supplied back and it is called as hit. If data is again missing, again it is called as page fault. Replace again page with any of the technique and try to search new page which we have recently inserted in the queue. So it continuously processes. That is called as TLB with page tables for address translation. Okay, so now inverted address mapping means it is with respect to segment. Every page has segment register and offset. Okay, if data is not present in the particular page tables, then it should be searched in segment level. You can see here. See it, if it is not present in page level, now we are going into segment level. Each segment consisting of many number of pages. Okay, many number of different pages. Okay, so after we search many pages in same segment, now it is time to replace a complete segment itself. So that time what happens, assume so far we have referred 4th segment all pages, and we got a scenario that we are unable to get a data what we wanted in all pages of segment 4. That time what we have to do is we have to shift into next segment called 5th. So what is the idea of next segment? Fifth. And what is its offset? Offset means in that segment how many pages are there. So that is called as offset. So fifth segment 28 pages. So we have to search 28 pages of fifth segment. If present, that is done. If not present, update the segment, update its offset. Generally we have a constant offset. Constant offset means what? All segments are with equal number of pages generally, but it may changes related to the information also. Okay, so next, okay, this is the segment wise to produce a linear address. Once we got a virtual address, we will try to find out. Virtual address means, let me give the idea. Here it is. Imagine virtual address means this. That should be divided into segments. That should be divided into page level to block level. Okay, like that we have to identify. Okay, so please remember this hierarchy. One virtual address, identify its segment and offset. If it is found, generate one linear address in which segment data is present. What is its offset? So it will generate one address. Okay, so but linear address is not at the real address on physical memory. So once we generate a linear address in the table, take that linear address, give it to TLB, translation look aside buffer. So what it will do? It will try to divide linear address into pages and page dictionary and page table. So what it will do? It will attaches linear address into page dictionary and page table. So what we have got here? Linear address from the first step, page table from the second step, dictionary and table together. From there we are able to get a offset. So once we club linear address plus page dictionary plus page table plus offset, we will get a real memory. So hope you have studied in your operating system this architecture together, but now it is separated. Virtual address converting into linear address converting into page level address is converting into physical memory address. So we should be able to draw the diagrams. Okay, so here is a word. Okay, once we get virtual address, we will try to divide into segment. Once we get a segmented description, we will try to divide into memory using TLB. Once we get subsections of paged level, we will try to use address translation mechanism to get real address of the data where it is present. Okay, so these all are the procedures. Okay, so the last concept here is page replacement algorithms. Okay, so these all algorithms you have studied and you have solved in our operating system. So just I will give the definitions of some of the policies. Okay, so least recently used. Least recently used means which page is very rarely accessed, that page should removed from the table and it should be substituted by next or smallest least recently used. Okay, so optimal algorithm means who is going to get access in future very late, that page will be removed. Who is going to get access sooner, that page will be inserted in the page table queue. FIFO, you know that first page in, that page is removed. Okay, which is in the queue for longest duration. Next, least frequently used, totally lesser number of times the page which is referred, that page is going to be removed. Okay, circular FIFO. When we get a page fault, what is the definition of page fault? We are unable to get a data in set of pages which are already loaded. That time it is called a page fault. Now it is a situation to remove some pages and insert new pages, hoping that data is present in those pages. That is called page fault. And here the page is removed which is in a circular assumption, which was accessed very first means earlier. It is also similar to FIFO. And the last one is random replacement. It is sometimes advantage, sometimes disadvantage. Okay, so randomly it will predicts it doesn't affect or it doesn't refers any of the standard method like accessed or about to access. Randomly it removes. So advantage is without randomly it removes without checking any counter or any accessing dependency. Okay, so this is what with respect to memory hierarchy technology. Thank you.